Welcome back to another episode of the Weekly DLC. I'm one of your hosts, Karosh, joined always by my co-host, Daniel Vargas.
Brittle Bones.
And Daniel Jang.
Wakanda forever.
And if you're not familiar with what we do, we come to you from podcasting services of your choice on Mondays. At a table usually, sitting around, we have some fun, we do some topics. I'm like all jumbled up and I'm like piecing the words in like as soon as like, you know how those things are like railroad tracks as you're going?
You're building it.
Yeah. We sit around a table, we have some fun, we talk about nerdy stuff, movies, comics, games, everything in between, and we hope you have fun. We have fun. This is episode 103 of the Weekly DLC. Rhymin'.
One more.
That's one of the hashtags. Rhymin'. And as we've said in recent episodes, we're going to start right with the topics, then we'll get into what we've been doing. I'm going to keep prefacing that for these next few episodes, just until it's been a few more.
Yes.
I'll see how it feels until I just jump into it and don't care. So let's get into it. Jang, what's your topic for today?
So there's going to be spoilers.
Spoilers
For
the video
specifically
hall.
Mr. Glass.
No, for
Or
life,
Glass.
for everything. We're going to just spoil.
Eggs.
So for the film.
Glass.
Okay.
And we're talking about the ending. Which
So I'll put a
is he a
time,
hero or a
so
villain?
I'll put a time marker for when this topic starts and when this ends. So for
Sure.
people that want to, like, I'll put it in the video, I'll put it in the SoundCloud.
I mean, I
That
don't
way-
need it. I watched the movie already.
I know you two watched it. I read it. I read the book adaptation, but I just want people to be aware that if they can, like, when do I come back
I'm
to
just
this?
joking.
If they want to see this movie, go ahead.
So at the end, the world finds out that there are superpowered beings in the world. What are the real life implications if that actually happened? And it's a two-part question. If you had superpowers, what would you do? I guess it depends on the superpowers, but let's say you had like Bruce Willis's superpowers, what would you do?
Never
Which
drink
is-
water again.
Which, I mean, his was essentially like it was superhuman strength and
And you
invincibility.
could touch
He
people
was,
and
he was like Luke Cage in some ways,
yeah.
indestructible and strong.
And then he had he had foresight within by touching people. He could see things they've done. He can see the bad things they've done essentially.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that part. I was like, is that Sixth Sense?
No, that was
All
water.
right. So first point was implications of that. So like, what would happen next? And this is everywhere. It's spread everywhere, like the movie. Like
Well,
it's just like
they never
publicly known.
show anything. They just show the video.
Right,
and
but
then-
like I think the ending kind of dictates that like it's gone viral, you know?
I think the first thing that would happen with a situation like what happened in the movie is doubt and just like prove it. Like we want more evidence.
Yeah.
And would that happen? Like people would just be like, "What is this? This was a crazy publicity stunt. Who is it for? Who's tied?" And I think a subsect of people would start looking into it, like maybe the high up people, the money makers.
I mean I think there will be like there's always those people like Illuminati, like the earth is flat. There'll be those subcategory or like those forums on the internet where it's just like they've searched. He's like, I followed this one guy and he just does this all the time and he has to be one of these people.
But I think what's interesting would be like if people were doubting, like they're like, I think I have something, but they were like, no, it's nothing. It might like in a world where that's how it is, how things are, would they be more inclined to lean into that? Because I think one of the cool ideas with this was the idea of like you have like people are trying to suppress your gifts, and I don't know.
Well, the
I don't know
thing
where I was
is,
going
like,
with
to
that. I
bring
guess
in
symbolic.
to bring in a movie that I really enjoyed, Kick-Ass. In that movie, like, there's I mean, this kid's trying to be a superhero, and he goes out like he has like his gear on, he's got like this weapon, he gets beat to shit because he has no idea how to fight. I feel like stuff like that would happen, to kids who are like, something happened to them that could be a huge coincidence. Doesn't mean that they have powers or like we're gonna roll with it. Like, oh shit, I just jumped from like 10 feet and I didn't break my legs. He's like, let's go higher, and then shatters his legs.
Your name Kick-Ass? Your name should be Ass Kicked.
So I think that was a wonderful like reality kick when it came to like a superhero type thing. Like this kid's like, he's so focused on this thing and he like realizes like I'm no superhero,
Yeah. Jane, what do you think?
I'm more pessimistic. I'd go in the route of Watchmen. like the government would
Who watches?
weaponize it. They would do a Stranger Things. They would try to, if someone had powers, they would capture that person and just do experiments and weaponize the superpowered peeps.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think the like what would happen is the sensational side of it would be what you're saying, Vargas, which is like people would be like doing videos to emulate this video, be like, oh, that's trending. Let me try to do something crazy, and they would fuck themselves up, hurt themselves, hurt others in the process. But in the reality of like what I think it's like a mix of the two, where the reality is the real ones get found out by the wrong people and then taken in. That's a good. It sucks. If I had a power,
Bruce Willis's power.
I don't know. Of the three,
No, you have.
Well, you don't
Bruce's.
want to have glasses.
I mean, he was pretty smart.
He's smart, but
I mean, that was literally
Bruce is
his
not.
thing.
I don't feel like he was that smart.
yeah.
That's fucked up.
I'm just telling it like it is.
He was the smartest guy out there.
And Split,
Beast, but he had no control, kind of. It was just weird. He had control in Glass, but in Split, I felt like he didn't have control of it.
okay, what powers would you pick?
Bruce Willis's. Easy, peasy, water.
What did you? Was that one of your questions?
It was
What
yeah.
would you do if you had the powers? Real
Okay,
life.
What would you do with those powers?
I would do.
I would
it
be a
Bruce
hero,
Willis.
dude.
Yeah,
You
I
would
would
do
do it
Bruce
Bruce
Willis?
Willis.
But like, it's a very risky, like, because you get caught, you're gonna be locked up.
The thing is, like,
somewhere.
it's similar to like what Batman does. Batman is he's essentially breaking the law. He's not giving these individuals their due process, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm gonna be breaking legs, and that's their due process. You know?
Ooh, Punisher.
Yeah, I
Killing
think
people.
Hey, I didn't say killing. I just said breaking legs.
The thing that Batman has is he's got a lot of money and resources and clout that I don't think just like one of us would just be like, hey, I want to break someone's leg, and people would just hold you down, find things, and
It's really hard too, because like, where do you see crime? Like, you would have to like see something going on in the news, and you risk yourself getting caught, because like, let's say there's a hostage situation or like a shooting, and it's on the news, you have to go in, you risk, the police are gonna try to catch you.
Yeah.
So it's very risky.
Yeah, because if you think about it in reality, like you're going to be listening to a police scanner. So even if it's not something that's newsworthy, you're going to be going to where the police are going, because that's the only way you're listening to this. That's how you know the crime is being done. Is you're listening to a police scanner where someone's reporting it. They're like, we have a whatever code for like a robbery going down in this section, and you just rush there, and you're eventually going to meet up with these cops, and they're going to assume you're going to be one of the bad guys because you're not a uniform. You're not in uniform.
I'd want to fly, just fly. But I'm trying to think of
So you
like
can fly away from this conversation.
no, so I can take this conversation to new heights.
No, it's from Shazam. Yeah. Okay.
I would want to fly. I'm just trying to think of like you guys are thinking of like utilizing it to better a community or to better a nearby. I'm like, what would I do?
Commute.
I travel.
Yes, I'm saving the earth, bitches. I mean, I travel, but like, what does that do? It's like, that's like a self-serving.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. I have many things I'd be like, yeah,
You don't
I
have to
would
help
enjoy.
anyone.
But
You're
I'm
not
trying to-
obligated. We're not at that.
I mean,
we're not at that moment where like
Ben Parker would, Uncle Ben would say otherwise.
we're not at the moment where there's legislation saying if you have powers, you're obligated to do.
If you
I
something
understand,
good
but
for
I'm trying to say like I'm putting myself in the shoes of like you guys are being like, okay, if I had Bruce Willis's power in this film, I would use it to try and like stop crime and get all this stuff. I'm like, okay, if I like that power, I want to do the flying, but what would I do with that?
It seems like everyone would use it for good or just neutral actions. But what if you had the power to control people? What would you do?
control people. Like
Bruce somebody.
like so. I think with that there's a huge like range of like controlling. Like there's convincing someone. There's
I feel like-
there's actually controlling where like the person is like either they're unaware or they're aware but they can't stop their actions. Like I would assume I would talk about like convincing, like you convince
Persuasive?
someone, persuasive, where you persuade someone to do something, and they start doing it thinking like this is what I wanted to do since the beginning. You know, I thought about this on my own.
So
like,
what would you do? You just like, hey, I want to eat sushi. I want to eat pizza. You want to eat sushi.
exactly, I'd persuade us to always eat pizza. That's my first step.
What would you do with being able
I don't know, man. Nothing too malicious, but kind of.
But what if you like used it in a sense like stop fighting?
Oh yeah.
And like you made a
For sure.
video. What if, like you just made a video, put stop fighting, and that was the message.
Yeah.
Well, but like, do you think there'd be bad ramifications to that? Like,
There could be.
there's like a butterfly effect of.
Yeah, I think so.
I'd be too afraid to like do anything at that point.
That's so funny. Because when I think of like persuading someone, I feel like you have to physically be there. So like if you make a YouTube, are you referring to making like a viral YouTube
I would
video?
try the powers out and see if they translate through video, through audio, through whatever.
Death Note.
I would use it for personal gain. I mean, let's say I'm going to movie theaters. I'd be like, yeah, I've already paid for my ticket. Like, oh yeah, you're good to go. You know, like.
I feel like though that could get like spotted. I would try to do it in a subtle way. Like
Complain about something, and then
can
they're
you
like,
explain your subtle way?
instead of being like, oh, I already bought my ticket, and everyone's around, he's like, no, he didn't. What is he talking about? Like, I don't know. Like, if there was a way to phrase something and be like,
no,
hey, buddy.
no. He would just do it like this. He'll go to the ticket counter, pretend he has a ticket stub, and he's like,
Yeah, I can persuade him to see a ticket
Sure.
that isn't existing. Be
yeah,
like,
I
"Here you
would.
go."
I'm just saying, like, I would be conscious or want to try to be conscious of drawing too much attention to myself,
Right.
Because of the fear of like someone spotting me, and then I get crowded, and then like.
I guess in my situation, I
experimenting.
wasn't like literally referring to like, "Hey, dude, you know,
but if
walk
someone
through."
spotted you, you could easily just change your mind. You didn't see anything, bitch. Like, fly away.
Just do the. He just like
Disappear. You saw nothing.
If I did the persuasion thing, I would just make this podcast the number one most watched. I'd be like, everyone listen to
we
this
would
podcast.
just go up to a guest, like, yes, you're going to be in a podcast.
Yeah. Do you want to be our guest? Yes.
I've been waiting for you to ask me.
What? Can you tell me what happens in Game of Thrones? Of course.
Oh, shit. First exclusive. Oh, my God.
I don't know.
I'd use it in small moments in my life to like make it easier, you know, like different things. Like I don't know, like if
I know little things I would use it for. There's like some people that are very loud near my desk, and I'd be like, "Can you be a little bit quieter?"
Or you'd be like, cut that mole.
oh my god.
Well, the mole guy.
Or
I forgot
the
about
mole
him.
head, the mole hair.
Negan.
Not the mole, cut the mole hair. Say no mo.
Save the moles, save the earth.
Well, the thing is, like, maybe I wonder if I wouldn't even have to say anything to persuade people. So I wonder if I wouldn't have
mind
to say
control.
anything. Yeah, well, like essentially, like mental communication, where you'd be like, you've chosen not to be so loud anymore, and so they quiet down. You know, obviously thinking it's their own reasoning or whatever. I don't know.
I'm still trying to figure out the flying thing, like how I would use that. I'd be like, I would help people like with their groceries.
Uber. Get on my
The
back.
thing is, like, so with flying, is you wouldn't have the super strength obviously because you've chosen flying. So then you couldn't carry everything at once. You'd
Not
have to do
everything. I would
multiple
just carry
trips.
what I would normally carry.
Multiple trips, dude. That sucks, dude.
No, one trip always.
Shopping.
I could now use my legs and put stuff like.
Circulation to my blood.
Katie, open the window.
Just like crash through.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else flying could do. I mean, people stuck.
Obviously, like personal gain, you'd fly anywhere you want to. Like instead of driving a car, you're just like, I'm gonna.
I want to go to Japan.
I'm gonna go here. I'm just gonna go here. You know.
And then someone sees you.
But yeah, transportation, like you can be like, if someone's badly hurt, you can just immediately fly them to a hospital or something. There's different things like that. I mean, that's good things though. You can also just fly to a bad guy and punch him and fly away. Why are you sitting
Slap
there?
Yeah, I guess. I have to think about it more. But yeah, I don't think if something like that went wide, I think the powers that be, the high ups and stuff of corporations would exploit it.
Yeah, and then obviously there'd be different powers that would take priority in like trying to be exploited. I think obviously if someone can fly, that'd be something that immediately like just get popular. Like you'd see someone flying, you're like, holy shit, that guy can fly, and then government's like, we need that power, you know, mind control, things like that. But then I think there'll be like weak powers where it's like, we don't care for that dude, you know, like doesn't matter.
I mean, I feel like even the weak ones, they would find a way to exploit. They'd be like, we can mix this. If a starfish had this power, it'd be fucking impossible.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like I feel like with the weak ones. I mean, I don't want to say like weak. Like we're already like categorizing these people in like different.
Well, like there's X-Men that are like, I can grow my nails a little longer, or like.
But I feel like there would
diarrhea.
There would be people where it's
power,
like.
dude.
I feel like there would be people that would assume that like they could mix powers, like grab blood from someone, grab blood from someone,
and match.
Dump it in someone else and be like, do you have both powers now?
Yeah, I think another one. I'd want like the ability to make people like laugh as much as I want, and I'd be like, I could see that being good, but I could see that being like a Joker. It's like you can't stop laughing.
he does that with gas, right? He says like
he's
laughing
gas.
Okay,
but I'd be like, no, that'd be scary.
I'm having such a great time.
Yeah, I'd be
cry.
like, I'd start questioning people's how genuine they are, and then I would just mistrust everyone. Yeah, that's fucking.
You're immediately just like.
I'm black mirroring it. I'm just like. Good movie though, Glass.
It was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
Is he a hero? I answered the damn question.
So my buddy
Is Glass a hero or villain?
Yeah.
What do you think?
He said he's
Ozymandias. So it's coin flip for me.
So my buddy is like, it's a flat out question. He killed hundreds of thousands of people to make heroes. He's a villain. Like it doesn't even matter. Like he's killed so many people.
Do the ends justify the means?
I mean, we could talk about it later towards the end, but
Okay.
I have my thoughts.
Oh yeah, okay, sure.
I had a video.
Stay tuned, everybody. For the people that, well, I mean that's still the spoilers, but.
Dun, dun, dun.
Next topic. You wanna go?
Yeah, mine's about video games. Have nothing to do with movies. But
movies.
it's the anxiety of choice. Like, have you guys ever been so afraid to make decisions that you just stopped playing a game, or knowing that this game had so many choices, you just decided not to pick up this game? Just
Do you have context of like what brought it up for you? Like, did it come up through
the topic came up from something else, but it was I realized like there are games I have not played because of this the options or the choices that this game has. And the main one I was going to bring up is Mass Effect. It's such a huge game because I'm usually someone who tries to do everything, and I try to do everything in my first playthrough. So then I sometimes get overwhelmed. Like there's different planets, and some planets have nothing to do with the story. It's just to like get rid of the fact that it's telling you to go to this planet. And when you go to that planet, it's got different areas you gotta go to, so it gets rid of like the notification that you haven't been there yet. So I just travel everything, and I'm like, all right, there goes an hour of my day doing nothing for the story, and then I just move on. And if I'm already there, I'm like, I might as well test out this whole entire solar system. And then once I come back, it's already the nighttime, and I'm done with the game. So I move, and it's been like that for every game. I haven't beaten any of those games. I lied. Was it 3 that had the bad ending, or like what people consider?
Yeah.
That's the only one I've beaten. The other ones
beat the other two?
I have not beaten the previous 2.
Yeah, I haven't played any of them, so shit.
No, I just think it's funny to beat that one, but the other two because the story.
Exactly.
For the plot.
I think that's why I beat it, because I wanted to see what everyone was talking about. So I kind of rushed through it, but I wasn't satisfied with how I played the game at all.
I wasn't either. Jang, do you have any feeling on this? Too much choice in games? You feel it often?
No, like one thing that comes to mind is trophies. Like I'll look at trophies and see if I want 100% it, and some games are just crazy. Like Bloodborne was crazy because you had to play the game 3 times.
So do you lose interest in playing the game altogether because of that, or?
Well, I kind of like I had to be really focused, and there are times. Well, I mean, a better example is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I said I was going to 100% it, and I bit off more than I can chew because there was a lot to do.
Okay.
And then I was like, why did I say I was going to 100% this? And it's just,
It takes away some.
I mean, I want to 100% things and like get platinums, but
on your own time.
sometimes
Is it for like the
I lose
reputation?
interest
Yeah.
too. Like I do lose interest. And that's been happening to me recently in streams. I'll just play a game and not even finish it. And they're like short games, like Gris. I'm like halfway done with it. I could just finish it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just lose interest.
Who defines 100% for you? Like, is it the game having some metric, or is it the platinum? Like, if the game were to say you've 100% of this, but there's still three trophies to get, do you feel satisfied, or?
It's the game's metrics and also trophies. That's what I consider. Like for San Andreas, I could easily have done the trophies, but that's not 100%ing it. There is no trophy for 100%ing it. So 100%ing it was a totally different thing. And so whatever the game decided was 100%.
So he went off the game's metric for San Andreas.
Okay.
Never again.
But what about, again, with choice? Like, what? I don't like that. That's one thing, but I feel like the choice of, like, how many times have you been faced with something where it's like there's too many choices? Like, is it too many games? Too many?
Red Dead was the most. Red Dead 2.
Oh yeah. What happened there?
There's just so many like
Side missions.
you play. It's kind of linear, and then all of a sudden, the world just kind of opens
Yeah.
up, and there's all these fucking missions and
There's
side
just
options,
white
and side
question
missions
marks
and
that are all side
I'm just
missions.
like, okay, fuck.
And you're going in with a different expectation.
No, I knew that it was because all Rockstar games are like that, but
Okay.
Open world.
I was just overwhelmed. I was just like, dude, this is just too much, and lost interest.
Oh, so okay.
What about you?
Like when I think of when I think of choices, I think of like Mass Effect. I think of Fallout 3. I think of Pokemon, I guess.
Yeah.
And I pretty much I get to a point where I'm like, these games, like with the Mass Effect and Fallout, I'm like, okay, I've been told there's several endings. I go to the one that I'm trying to do, or KOTOR as well. I just pick the dialogues and I pick the paths to the best of my ability that I'm like, I think this is where it's going to lead me.
Yeah.
And then I experience whatever I'm experiencing, and if there's any other ending, it's like, okay, fine. I don't want to go through this again. I typically don't like replaying a story campaign unless like extraneous circumstances. So to me, it's like, okay, well, these other endings, I'll just read about it or I'll watch them on YouTube because that's the thing you can do now.
Yeah.
Now in the past, with like, I'm going to use Pokemon as an example. The choices I faced there were different. It's like I have 6 spots in my team at any given time. And I have to pick who I want on my team. And there's over 150 choices. And I'm like, okay, how do I want to do this? And I either go by like my favorites or I go by what's effective. I go by, I change it up, but I never feel like I have to commit too much. Like that's part of the game to me. It's like,
What about like Final Fantasy Tactics? Because that's one where you have a limited.
I have favorites. I go by like, okay, I like these, and it's more favorites, but some of it's like I need a healer. So
Yeah, right.
I'll bring a healer.
Yeah.
But even if I know this match could be 10 times easier if I use 2 mages and a healer and 1
You're
monk,
okay with using
I'm
it.
like, no, but I really like my Black Knight, and I really like the monk. So they're staying. I don't care. Everything else is flexible. I don't
Yeah.
care about them. Like same with Pokemon. I'll be like, I have to have my Snorlax. Everything else can be like super effective, but Snorlax stays.
Yeah.
And I'll be like that. So, I think a time when I felt overwhelmed would have been the 3 or 4 times now, and I still haven't. I pick up Witcher 3.
Oh yeah.
I get to the city. I do one quest, and I just stop playing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck.
I think
It's not even like the side quest. I don't know what it is. It's just the game itself. I
There's a
know
lot.
that like that is like this much of what I'm about to
Yeah.
experience, and it's a good experience. Like I'm not like I need to finish this, but part of me is compelled to be like, even though this is open world and we want you to immerse yourself
Yeah.
in this, I want to get at least some of the primary story. Like I feel like I'm compelled to finish this main story.
Yeah, that's another one that I have not finished. I've gotten really, really far into it, And I think on PC is where I've gotten furthest, and I own it on console and PC. And with PC, I remember recently going back into it, and I realized that I had gone so far off their storyline. I'm like in a completely different zone on a completely different island where I chose to get a boat. That the boat's no longer there when I loaded back in. I think it like despawned or whatever. On an island, so I'm strapped on an island. I need to swim out of this island, and it's very far from everything. I'm like, I must have been. I don't know where I was going with this. I don't know, like within the game. I don't know where. I don't even know why I was on this island. Like I don't know.
You don't remember the context?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it was just like there was a mission that needs me to go here, and I was just following the arrow as as straight as I could.
And what's causes more like me not to feel as compelled to go back to it is I keep forgetting the controls for this game because there's like magic, there's 2 different types of swords, there's remembering the weaknesses. I know Monster Hunter like the back of my hand. That never feels daunting, I guess, or not daunting in the sense of choice or anything. I know how the mechanics work, and it's just a matter of choosing a weapon and going and playing.
You could say it's dauntless.
Hey. But Witcher, like, on top of the already daunting, like, there's so much stuff going on and so many things to choose whether to skip or whether if you feel like there's you're missing out. When there's so many choices, there's always this like thing in the back of your head is like, but you'll never know what happens
exactly
if you do this.
And that's where I'm at with like anything that has like more than one storyline that you go. And it just
so like if it's to the level of like Fallout or Mass Effect, it's like limited but multiple.
Yeah.
Like I feel to me that is the max I could handle of that. But when it's like a bajillion, like what's it, Detroit Become Human?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if I could do this 100
was
times.
when I first heard of the game, I was so down, and then eventually like there was like a trailer where it showed like all of these, this tree of things. I was like, yeah, nah, I'm good now.
On the flip side, Breath of the Wild, I didn't feel like that. Even though there was like boom, a side mission would pop up, I was like, you know what? This game's so fucking enjoyable.
I think they did a really good job with not bombarding you with side missions. Like, even though you would pick a side mission, it's not like, here's a mission, it's just like, it's a subtle thing. You talk to someone, you pick up a mission, but like the game always told you like, hey, these are the 4 things you need to go to. Very concise, very easy. The Witcher isn't like that. The Witcher, here's the world, here are a couple missions. Like there's no like, hey, you need to like kill this guy, and this guy. That's your main goal. Like it doesn't have that.
Yeah.
That's
Breath of the Wild. I'd get sidetracked. Oh, what's that? Oh,
but I think like Breath of the Wild conveyed in a very elegant and very simple way that the game in the intent of this game is to explore, and that the story is there for when you want to get to it. But the main hook is that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just I haven't put the investment in time into a game like Bloodborne or Witcher, but I feel like those I have to like get my feet. I have to like. Okay, if I were to equate it to something, it's like when you're getting in the water of like you're getting in the beach and you're like going in more and more deep. It isn't until like you're waist deep that you're like, okay, I'm in. Whereas like Breath of the Wild, I feel like just getting your toes wet, you're like, okay, I got a feel for this, and I'm in. I get the vibe it's giving. Yeah. I was gonna say something about
Mass Effect choice.
No, you said... like Breath of the Wild, another game came to mind, God of War. I felt like the latest God of War, there is a linear story, and I always knew that I could go back to it, but there was exploration. Like, here's a challenge over here. Here's a beast over here with like a... And what hooked me was when I go to these little things, they weren't too much of a time commitment. I knew I'm like, okay, I can either spend like another 15, 20 minutes or 30 if it's a really tough one. And what they would do is typically they would add more to the lore of the world, and in a very just like it was a gratifying loop of do this, discover more lore, go back to your main quest. Do this, discover more lore. It was never like go down a rabbit hole of 15 other quests and like where did I leave off and come back. That was always interesting. I think another thing I feel with choice is. There's many different ways we could take this, but I'm going to take it in this direction. With Destiny, for instance, right now, there's like 15 things I can make progression towards. at any given time. I can work towards like a certain gun. I can work towards another gun. I can work towards like another character. I can work towards the objectives are up to me to determine what I want to be my goal. Like it's up to me, and it's like sometimes I'm like, there's 5 things I want to do right now, but I can't. Like that would take me like a week. Like all of them to even make a dent of progress. So I'm like, I have to just shut these other ones out. Like I have to force myself to be like, just work on this one. And like when you're not feeling it, don't do it. Don't force it, because it can get to a point for me like you where it's like this 100%. Like like my enjoyment is getting out of this. And it's a fine line that you have to like be self-aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys ever feel that where it's like it's up to you to define goals and like you feel like there's just too many things?
Yeah, like Mass Effect, I mean, again, like I play thinking how I would actually, like, if this is a real thing for me, you know, I would choose the options I best fit me the way I would play the game. But eventually you're just like, what happens if I do this or if I did that?
Wow.
And it's just completely going a different route. And it's just like, I don't, like, this is not what I wanted to go with, you know? And then I'd have to restart. And it's just like, you know what? I'm just not going to play this game. And
I think the other thing that comes to mind is just like choices of like, not within a game, but choices of like, there's so many games available now. Like we never used to have this problem of there's 100, there was like 5 or 6 games that came out. And then now it's like there's 20 and one might be relevant, but these other 2, like Persona 5, great game, but it's not new.
Yeah.
So you're not as compelled to like finish it. I don't know.
Or choice when it comes to sacrificing your character. Near Automata.
That's a good point. You feeling okay?
a little. I'm good. I'm good.
I don't have any more thoughts on this.
The fact that you pointed it out is making me more, but we're good.
Well, it was making me uncomfortable because I didn't know what was going to happen.
I know. You want to move on to your topic?
Sure.
All right.
My topic. What was my topic again?
Have you ever?
Year games.
Oh yeah. So I mean, I was thinking of a bunch of stuff, and like each year, these last 2 years have been just like amazing games all year long. I'm like, holy fuck, have we had a better year in video games? And I wanted to be like, have we had a better year in video games? What do you guys think? And I wanted to like just be like, what do you think is the best year in video games?
I have favorite games, and obviously there's these games came out in certain years, but I was trying to pick a game or a year where all the like a lot of major games that have been defined my life were a part of. And the one that I came up with, I actually saved quite a few.
Oh yeah?
And
I have a few tabs of like different years, and I was trying to be like comparing, and it's tough.
It is, yeah. There is a lot, but where is it? Is it this one? I think it was 2001. Yeah, it was 2001. So there's no exact game that was like that I can define as like, you know, a pivotal game for me, but it's just like a huge list of games that I've pretty much played almost all and enjoyed every single one.
What?
Do you want me to go through all of them?
We'll go through some of the ones that are big for you.
All right. There's Animal Crossing.
Ooh.
There's Final Fantasy X.
Okay.
Ooh.
There is Grand Theft Auto 3. There's Halo Combat Evolved.
Oy.
There's Ico. Max Payne. Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty.
Aye.
Smash Bros. Melee.
Oof.
Silent Hill 2. And Advance Wars.
Onigiri.
Oh.
War Groove.
And then there's one more. Gran Turismo 3. Which,
Okay.
I mean...
When did I have a quick question? When did World of Warcraft come out?
I was trying to find that one, and I couldn't
It was
find
not that year?
It was not that year.
I feel like it was like 20.
So did I even say the year?
This 2004?
2001.
Oh, 1. Sorry, that might have been me. Okay.
Hold on. Let me
That's
see
a
if I
pretty good
have it
year.
right
I mean,
here.
not going to lie.
Yeah, 2004. You're
Okay.
right. That's World of Warcraft 2004.
Okay. Jane?
My runner-up was last year.
Last year?
Yeah.
2018.
That's the runner-up because of Breath of the Wild. I didn't play Super Mario.
Wait, 2017.
2017, Super Mario Odyssey, 2 years ago.
Okay.
Super Mario Odyssey.
That was a
and
fucking good year.
That's my runner-up,
Okay.
just because of those two games. But my year is 1994. In this Super Nintendo / I think PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1. So here's a couple of the games. Mega Man X2, Darkstalker, Super Punch-Out.
Okay.
I'm going through Demon's Crest, which is a game that not a lot of people have played, but it's a sequel to Demon's Quest. That's one of my favorites.
Wait, Demon's Quest is a sequel to Demon's Quest?
Demon's Crest is a sequel to
Crest. Okay, gotcha. Sorry. I'm like, what?
Echo. Tekken 1 came out. Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Sonic and Knuckles,
Ooh, that was a good one.
What year is this?
94.
Nice.
Warcraft 2.
Oh yeah. Which
Doom,
is
Doom 2.
Okay. That's huge.
Earthbound.
Ooh.
Super Metroid, but the reason why I picked it because my favorite, it's no longer my favorite game of all time. I think.
Then why did
But
you choose this year?
my favorite game of all time is Bloodborne, but my favorite game of all time previously,
Pre-Bloodborne.
Final Fantasy VI came
Ooh.
out that year.
I'm going to pick a fan favorite year. This is typically the year that gets brought up every time one of these conversations has come up. And it's because it's defined so much of my life.
2019.
Oh,
19
I know. Oh, is Half-Life 2 in it? No. Okay, never mind.
We're close. 1998.
99.
I just need to say two games, and that's my reasoning. But I'm going to list all the other amazing games that I'm sure impacted you guys. Is that the year you said?
No. Mine was 2001. I'm just like, because I saved them.
You had it. I was like, what the fuck? Did I black out and mishear everything you just said?
No. I'm just showing you the list I had
Okay,
saved.
yeah. So, the two games I'm going to just say StarCraft,
Oh, I know. I already know. I already know.
Say it.
Pokemon Yellow.
Oh, I thought it was KOTOR.
Ocarina of Time.
I thought it was KOTOR.
No, that was later. That was big. But like looking at this, so StarCraft came out this year.
Oof.
Ocarina of Time came out this year. Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation came out this year.
Nice.
Actually, he didn't have it wrong. He said Half-Life.
He
Half-Life.
said Half-Life 2.
Oh,
Yeah, I did say 2.
okay.
I was checking because I knew Half-Life
Yeah,
came out that
okay,
year.
okay.
The other year I was considering, and the Banjo-Kazooie came out that year. Spyro came out that year. Sonic Adventure. I was a big Sonic Adventure fan, like on the Dreamcast. That was one of the two games. The other game being Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah.
Were the two games I had on Dreamcast. Star Wars Rogue Squadron. 1080 snowboarding. I love snowboarding games and skating games.
I played that one a lot.
SSX tricky.
SS. It's true to rock around. And Vigilante 8.
Oh.
Fucking that year was stacked.
That's 29 or
1998.
Okay, nice.
I was gonna pick another. KOTOR is a good year, but I was gonna pick the year that Orange Box came out. That was a close one. And I was also like not excluding. I know games are the factor, but I was also thinking of gaming hardware. And 2006 was when the DS Lite came out, and I know the DS was great, but like when it became the Lite, like that was when its true form. That's like when Frieza becomes like his true form. I'm like. Yes, this is you. This is the real you. So that's my year. I love that year. That year like did so much to define what I like now.
It's a solid
I'm
year.
still fucking playing Pokemon.
So I had a list, but the list didn't have every single one for my year.
Okay.
So we've also got Devil May Cry,
Ooh.
Conker's Bad Fur Day. We've got Civilization 3 specifically, but
Are you
like
a Civ fan?
that's not one I played, but I know it's a huge game.
Yeah, like I didn't play Metal Gear until recently,
yeah.
so I'm like I'm gonna say it, but it's not like the reason. The year GoldenEye came out was a big one.
We had Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3,
Ooh, that's a
I
good
like
one.
2
That's
more.
a good one.
Luigi's Mansion.
Oh, this is GameCube time.
We had this is a game I played, I think the number 2 version, but black and white,
I remember that.
where you played like you played a god.
I remember
Yeah.
that. Peter Molyneux,
Yeah.
right?
Back when he actually made it.
Shit.
We had Castlevania Circle of the Moon. Circle of the Moon. And now I've lost my list. Circle of the Moon. We had Baldur's Gate, which is a huge game I played. Specifically Dark Alliance. It's not or Baldur's Gate. Sonic Adventures 2. FIFA 2002. Did I say Advance Wars in my original?
In the
Yes.
original
Yeah.
one, you said Advance Wars because that's why I was like, ooh.
Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons. Which
And Ages. Don't forget that.
exactly. Which
that
I was going to say, which
that
was a
like one of
two-part.
the first time.
Rare game.
I thought it was Capcom.
No. It's rare, like rare as in to find, to buy.
I still have mine.
Diablo 2 expansion, Lord of Destruction.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
We had Mario Kart Super Circuit that came out that year. I've never played that one. Never played
2003 KOTOR. That was a summer to remember. Everyone's like, "Do you have a good summer?" I'm like,
a recent remake, Onimusha Warlords.
"That's true." That got
It got remastered
Pikmin?
or remake. No, remastered.
Golden Sun, Twisted Metal Black
You're just listing games now.
came out that year.
Twisted Metal
This
Black
is
I
a-
liked.
These are all games I played. Zone of the Enders.
That's your year, bro.
This was my year, bro.
The year Daniel.
Yeah.
While
dude.
Daniel came
Crazy
out.
Taxi 2. Super Monkey Ball. Now you're just saying games. Hey, they're all still 2001.
Gatorade.
Age of Empires.
Electrolytes. Woo!
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. These last 2017, 2018 are up there. Like Fortnite and Odyssey and
Breath of the
Wild. Like just those 3 games. Boom.
I mean,
And Fight of Gods. Never forget. 2019.
earlier than that because it came out.
The
on
Game
PC.
Awards.
That's
Fight
true.
of Night.
Fight of Night.
But Fortnite, I wouldn't consider a game or a game that
You wouldn't consider it a game.
A game that defined me
a fighting game.
for a year for me.
It would a defining game.
It wasn't a defining game for that year for me. I played it, but because of my sister. Had I not had my sister wanting to play it, I would have never touched that game.
Okay.
Not for
I
you,
think-
but it enthralled millions.
I think I think it did enthrall you, not in the way you would expect, not in the way that these games directly enthralled you, because it affected so much around you, like these other games that are now doing
Oh,
it
you're right,
remakes,
yeah.
how you and your sister interact about
Streamers.
like playing on your Switch. Her playing. I feel like that impact is not as direct, but it's there.
It's true. I think it's
And streamers that you watch.
It's the reason it pushed me to stream because I streamed the time it had gotten big with streaming.
I remember you on Jeng's stream a few times on Discord. I remember you were doing your own thing from time to time, but I know you were playing with him while he streamed too.
But it was watching Ninja stream the game that I was like, I really want to be a streamer. I want to be at this level. Just wasn't streaming Fortnite.
You shaved your head because of streaming, and so that's a boom, 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 boom.
I guess so. There you go. Perfect.
It was because of a
was
bet.
cold.
It was because of a bet.
$10.
Did you get to level 40?
I got $10. That's all you need to know.
Zing pow bing. I don't think he went over his head.
Okay.
Hand shot first.
All right, that's my topic. Let's get into what you guys been up to.
I watched Glass.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
If you take the GL out, what do you get?
You get
Ass.
ass.
This is explicit content. I make sure to mark it. So. The nipples are hard. So you watch Glass?
I watched Glass. I keep watching anime, dude. It's just
What's
it's just
this week's anime?
It's a rolling thing. It's called Shield Hero.
So each week you're watching like a whole new anime?
Pretty much. Okay. So what happens
You
is
should try doing that with One Piece.
probably. Well, that's the thing. So I think that's why I'm watching the anime. What happens is I get caught up with the ones I'm watching, and I want something to fulfill the day that I don't have anything to watch because I've caught up with everything. And so I found a new one called The Rising of the Shield Hero.
Okay. It's a charge blade.
Yeah, pretty much.
It looked like it.
So what happens is the story in that one is there are 4 main heroes. There's the guy with the shield, a guy with the single-handed sword, a guy with the spear, and a guy with the bow. He gets teleported into this world. He's being summoned, and he's like, "Hey, we're being there's these waves of monsters that keep happening.
Okay.
We took care of the first wave." But we had huge casualties. He's like, we can't handle the next wave for sure because they just get consecutively stronger.
Yeah.
And so
Evangelion.
we've summoned you guys. But the thing is, everyone's talking shit on the shield guy. He's like, you're a shield. You can't even attack. You're a piece of shit. And everyone else is like, we'll take care of it. Don't get in our way. And they even do really bad things to him. Everyone, it causes the whole entire world that he just moved into to see him as a piece of shit. And he's like, it's not even true. And it's like, you're a piece of shit. Sorry, man. And so now he's like outcasted. He's like, don't even get in our way. And so he's just trying to level on his own to be able to match the strength of this wave and stuff like that. So, and it's just like it's always like that, you know, you push someone down, they get back up, you know, like even
Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
Shield.
So that one's working out really well for me. And then still my favorite is The Time I Reincarnated as a Slime. It's fantastic. Okay. If anyone...
You said that was your best anime of 2018.
I might even get a tattoo. Said it here and now.
Ooh.
But yeah, if anyone is
On the
into
nipple?
anime or if they want to start watching anime, I highly recommend The Time I Reincarnated as a Slime. Really good.
Is it on Netflix?
It is on Crunchyroll. That's all I know of.
There's an anime I tried called High Score Girl. It's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's a dude who... well, yeah, go for it.
Well, he's like, he plays in an arcade in his hometown, and he's Street Fighter 2 is
Yeah.
the thing. And this girl is on the opposite side, new challenger. She wrecks him as Zengi. And he's a guile player. And like the beginning, he's like, fuck, I gotta beat her. And he's like, I'm gonna use dirty tactics. He's like crouching. It's like, I forget what the term was, like...
Footsies?
No, not footsies. There's a term for like...
Oh, turtling.
Turtling. He's like turtling, and he explains the tactic. He's like, it's shitty, and it's like frowned upon, but like I don't care. I need to win, and he fucking like wins, and she like, they end up having some sort of friendship as the like episode. I've only watched like 2-3 episodes, but you brought up anime. I thought I'd bring it up real quick. It's dubbed too.
Oh, nice.
Shots fired. Han shot first. I haven't been streaming. I think I streamed like one day.
Wow.
Yeah,
Resident Evil.
Wow, Resident Evil. Wow.
YouTube.
Watched class. Ass. No, yeah, I liked it.
Made videos?
I made a video which was supposed to be made on Sunday, and I delayed it, and then I finally just did it one night, and I didn't think I was gonna finish the edit. I fucking edited on that same night.
And you didn't even explain.
I explained it.
So what was the video? Is it about Glass?
So it's about Mr. Glass is a hero, and I don't explain it too much, but I don't want to talk about spoilers. But
Okay.
He
you
delves
guys-
into like the whole series
yeah,
Of the films
from the beginning to split.
from
to,
Unbreakable to
Yeah.
to this.
and he's a hero.
Okay.
He's a hero.
Fine. So people can watch your video to find out why.
Fight me.
He's Ozymandias.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to watch Into the Spider-Verse this weekend because
That's what I was saying. I
the
thought I saw
Oscar
it.
nominations came out, and your boy Wakanda Forever got nominated for an Oscar, Best Picture, and Into the Spider-Verse
But
Best
they
Animated
got nominated
Film.
but didn't win, right? Or
Well, they
No,
just
haven't-
they just
okay,
nominated.
Gotcha.
Nominations just went out.
just making sure.
Saw a couple trailers. Wargroove is finally coming out.
Oh, thank God.
No, that's a good way to do it. Like, release a trailer and it's coming out in 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, 100%. But I've been like frothing at the mouth
But
for this game.
did you pay for it already?
I'm gonna deny.
Preload?
I don't see. I was going to, but then I was like, damn, I'm gonna wait for reviews. I don't.
I don't care.
You,
I am that confident.
it has crossplay.
That's pretty cool. I thought it was when I heard that it's gonna cross with Xbox. I thought it was just gonna be the whole custom map thing. Like everyone can share maps. Like that won't matter. But the playing part, I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
One of our mutual friends doesn't have a Switch fully. He's like, oh, this game is gonna make me buy a Switch.
Word?
Yeah, and I messaged him. I was like, hey, it's crossplay, so maybe just buy it on
Dude.
PC
No.
on the go.
It's PC, Xbox, and Switch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's another indie trailer, Katana Zero, but it's not coming out for the Switch.
There was another one like it's like a rock band, and there's
I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
It was at.
It was on the indie like montage thing.
It was actually in the Game Awards, but we missed the beginning part of it.
Oh, I think I watched a clip of it later. Yeah. It looked cool. I know. Anything else?
I'm going to try to stream Resident Evil 2.
Are you guys gonna play that? when it comes out?
I am.
Resident Evil, I don't think I'm gonna.
No.
I might pick up Anthem and just concentrate on that.
Okay.
I don't know yet though.
I haven't finished the original Resident. I'm not even halfway done. Fuck. Yeah, Resident Evil 2.
For me, more Destiny. Been playing a lot of that. Playing a lot of Pokemon Go.
I haven't touched Destiny.
Destiny? I
have
know.
not
You haven't
touched
been on. You missed Iron Banner. I did. So I had all the tokens, And I was like, I want to make sure I didn't max out I didn't play it all with Warlock because I was just working on some other stuff.
Oh, so you give it to one?
So I went to my Warlock. I had like 300 tokens, and I just logged down with my Warlock, redeemed all the tokens, got the armor. I'm like, okay, I have everyone's armor now, but I am not going to play with him because there's one triumph or achievement, and it's like do all the bounties with each character in 1 week. And I could do it with the other two. I was like, I don't want. I'm focusing on some other stuff. There's one more Iron Banner this season.
And you do all 3 on that one.
Yeah, I'll do it. I have 3 masterworked weapons, so orbs will be dropping. That's the hardest one is the orb drop.
Yeah.
So a lot of Pokemon Go. I had Friday off, and I was originally gonna just play go in the morning. I woke up still at 6 a.m., 5 a.m. And I was like, I'm going to go play Pokemon. So I drove out, met up with people doing raids. And Groudon and Kyogre are back out, which are some of my favorites. And there's a chance at shiny ones of them. So I'm like, I just want to fucking raid. And we raid for 2 or 3. And they're like, all right, we're going to dissipate. Some of us are going to keep going. And I was like, I want in. I'm down. Let's go. And they literally, there was a kid I've never met before. They're like, hey, Karosha's going. Do you want to just ride with him? And I was like, I guess you can ride. Yeah. Get in the car. And we were raiding from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'd never met this kid before. I'm like, I'm just going to start asking him questions.
Was he going?
Friends.
No.
Best friends.
No, he's not. I mean, he's like a college kid.
Best fiends.
And I was just asking him, what made, because he doesn't play video games regularly. He's he played a little bit of League. He never had history with Pokemon. He was just I was on campus. I met one of the people that is in this community, and he's like, "Yeah, you should play this game. It's fun." And just the social aspect of it is what enticed him. And he told me he does stuff that I don't even do. There's a mother that plays, and she's one of the admins in this community. She gets her van prepped, has 8 charging cables, and they ride all from morning till night. And they have snacks. They'll stop for lunch and dinner, but they just go around raiding.
Get in the van now!
I'm like. And they have fun. They just bond. They talk. They shoot the shit and stuff. And I'm like, wow, that's
He's so used to it. That's why you didn't question him. You're like, just ride with Crush. You're I don't even know who he is.
Where's your charger, bro?
Aren't you trying to...
I had chargers.
Where's the snacks?
Yeah. No, but it was just interesting. I was like, wow, this is learning what brought him into the game and all that stuff. I was like, this is pretty cool. And seeing all the different people and how they come to the game is fun. And then we're 1 episode from finishing season 1 of Star Trek, so that's been good. I played one of the best games this year, Fight of the Gods. This trailer's been out on the Switch. It's been out on PC, but it just came to Switch. It's literally a fighting game with gods and mythical people.
How much is the game?
So retail $14.99.
Okay, that's not
I
bad.
had coins,
Yeah.
and so it became those
$10.
It became $9.40.
Yeah.
I was like, even better. Fucking steal. You can play as Jesus Christ and fight Zeus and fucking sure you can him. But Jesus wasn't as good as I thought, or at least I haven't learned how to play him.
Yeah.
I want to get good with Moses because he has his 10 commandments with a chain and he fucking beats the shit out of you with
wow.
him and then he comes
So he's got range essentially.
not too range, but it's enough. It's sort of like E Honda's range, not like Dawson's
Can
range.
you guesstimate how many
characters?
Yeah, characters there are?
I'd say
20, 50?
15 to 20.
30
somewhere
million?
in between.
Who's-
There's no unlockable.
Who's the grappler?
I haven't figured out yet. I think it's Anubis. It might be Santa. I haven't played Santa yet. Santa's in there.
Puts you in
the
the
bag.
But Moses was pretty OP.
Yeah.
Jesus, I got to figure it out. And then there's a lot of there's Athena, there's Sif, there's Zeus, and then there's someone else. I forget his name.
Thor?
No,
Odin?
not Thor. Another
there-
Odin or something.
Is there a character with multiple hands?
Buddha.
Yeah. Okay. Buddha.
But he's
Buddha's
not
Paul.
he doesn't use his. It's not like Shiva or anything, but he's like a statue. It's just a statue of
Yeah.
Buddha, and all of a sudden you see energy palms striking. I'm like, I gotta try Buddha out. But I'm fucking I'm in. I want this at Evo.
yeah.
This has got to make it to Evo.
The commentary would be so funny.
Fucking Jesus is coming in. Oh, dude, Jesus is God tier.
if they
bro.
had the
Jesus
dra-
is God.
Moses with the chain out of nowhere.
The Dragon Ball Fighter Z commentators on Fight
Thou
About.
shalt not fuck my shit up.
That's a commandment he just threw out.
amazing game. I love this game. I'm gonna cosplay as some of these characters.
So you're planning on picking up Wargroove specifically on Switch.
Yes.
100%.
You're planning on Switch.
hell yeah.
Depending on the
I
review.
love. I mean, you brought up Advance Wars. That's like
I
this is
know.
that.
I just haven't had
Don't let the hype get to you.
No. I haven't had an itch to like play an Advanced Wars type games.
The
in a
one
long
thing,
time.
Okay.
It's
We'll
not-
wait for the reviews.
it's not make or break for me, but you know how like Nintendo's very like, oh, we want to be kid friendly, so we can't have people play with random people.
Yeah.
I hope they kind of open that with this, like, because I don't want to.
Been open. Like it's been like creeping open more and more. Like Rocket League.
Well, the thing is,
across every platform.
at least with Wargroove, the developer's the one who would choose if it's like a randomized online type of thing, or if it's only you have to have a friend code and only play friends type of thing.
Well, I'm sure it's. Yeah, it's. I'm sure they have their own system. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it does well, and I want to be good at the game. If it does well,
Yeah. See how good of a fighting game it really is.
I gotta wait. I gotta wait for
shots fired.
for Dragon's Dogma.
Oh yeah. That
I
was.
gotta wait for that.
There's some good games coming out. The other game that's coming out very soon is
Kingdom
someone that
Hearts.
No. The AAA game, Untitled Goose Game.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it comes out February or March.
Yeah.
We talked to some of the developers. Check out that
Definitely.
episode. But yeah, my coworker was like, "Oh yeah, did you hear about this game, Untitled Goose Game?" I'm like, dude,
Bruh.
way ahead of you. Interview.
It's just if it's like the Black Mirror episode, you just like swipe it to him.
Yep, 100%.
You just
So yeah,
check this
pretty
video
good week. I did not see Glass, but I was enticed by what you guys had said about it. That I went and just read what happened.
So you know exactly what the movie is.
I mean, I know a lot of the plot points, and I am interested in seeing it somewhere. It's just I wasn't in the mood to go to the theaters today.
yeah, it had
this
really
week.
bad reviews, but I think it's because
Really?
Because people were expecting the
there's
big
an
fight.
audience that's like it's like a 78 last time I saw it, and then the critics were like a 39.
Yeah, I feel like critics gave Mrs. Doubtfire and Hook like 20%. So fuck critics. Like I'll always say that.
There is like
Fuck the Oscars.
when watching the movie, like it has its own pace. It's moving along, and like it's literally like you hit a brick wall of like what happened. You're like, what the like? It just kicks you out. You're just like that's it. Like that happened. That just happened.
I think one of the main criticisms that I could see happening is, and you guys could probably speak to it better, is it didn't have like a central character. It kind of goes between the three.
yeah.
And the other two films had a central, like one character that you're following
Yeah.
throughout the course of the film.
Yeah.
I feel like that could have helped if
true.
it had that. Like it's more time with Mr. Glass
Yeah.
as the main protagonist or something. I don't know. But the other thing is he took time making the last two. This one was like a quick, like, let's go off the hype of like this is a shared universe. I feel like if he had more time and maybe some of those like other kinks that people had issues with could have worked out more. I don't know.
Do you know who the Bruce Willis's son is? That actor.
All I know is it's the
They
same.
reused the same kid from
the same
Unbreakable.
Kid. Like I
But
was
you know-
like, that's
but
fucking him.
Do you know who that kid is?
No.
He was
Macaulay?
in Gladiator. The kid.
What? That kid?
That kid.
Oh,
that
shit.
kid. That's the same actor. I was like,
that kid.
I was like, dude, this guy looks very familiar. I looked up his Wikipedia. I was like, oh, he's in Gladiator.
All I know is watching him in Glass, I was like, that looks exactly like the kid they use in Unbreakable. And then they show a picture, I'm like, that's the same fucking kid. That's the same kid. I was like, that's so cool that they were able to have
because
the
he
kid
thought
and
that he
it's-
wasn't gonna get the role again. That he was afraid.
if it's too old,
I
you
think,
know?
I mean, I was listening to something going over the filmography of M. Night Shyamalan, and it's interesting the sorts of things he's worked on. He fully like funded this movie for better or worse for himself, but it's like cool that I don't know. I think there's something to admire about how he approaches films, regardless of whether they do well or not.
Yeah.
The happening.
But the thing is, too, like, if you go by the kid, you might see a timeline that doesn't make sense. Because, like, the kid, if you think of, like, the youngest
Oh,
age he
yeah.
is, or, like, as old as he could possibly be, is, like, 10 years old.
Maybe he has a superpower.
You're onto something.
I'm onto this podcast. Where can people find you?
They can
Mr.
find me
Vargas?
at the Fulio365 on Instagram and then the Fulio everywhere else.
Where can they find you?
At the Last Bosses Everywhere.
Find me at Cujo Prime. You find us all at the Weekly DLC. And until next time, we'll
DLC.
You later.